Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I want to talk about self-image. Do you have a healthy self-image? There's a lot of people out there that don't, that have a really negative self-image of themselves. I think a healthy self-image is a positive self-image. Now, it doesn't have to be lost in ego, but I think there's certain positive aspects to ego. We have an ego for a reason. A lot of people for ages, for thousands of years, talk about getting rid of the ego. The Buddhists do this. And when I see guys who've fully gotten rid of their ego, they look like soft, weak, emasculated little beta males to me, little suckers, losers. And I tell myself, I don't want to be like that. If that's what it is to completely get rid of my ego, thank you very much. I'll keep a little part of it. I think that there might be some part of this inflated ego that might be serving me. There's nothing wrong with being macho. There's nothing wrong with being a tough guy and identifying as such, of being a strong person, being capable, knowing that I could kick most of the motherfuckers' asses in this room. I could beat most of the people up here if I wanted to. Not that I'm not that kind of guy, but I'm tough enough to. In a room full of 10 people, most likely I'm going to be the leader. Not that I'll force myself on it, but that's the way it usually goes down. There's some people like this, and some people like that. They know they're like that. I think that there's nothing wrong with being like George Jefferson. Right? George Jefferson. He came from the bottom, worked his way up to an apartment, owned a cleaners, the TV show. I used to watch the Jeffersons. Anybody my age watched all that shit because there was only 5 fucking channels. We had to watch all the same crap, whether you liked it or not. And George Jefferson had a particular walk, particular strut to him, particular amount of confidence to him. I love George Jefferson. I used to know this Italian guy. I talk about him in my videos just because I miss him. Good buddy of mine. I knew him for many, 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 many years. This guy, Richie Mott, Philadelphia Mafia. Richie's dead, but he carried himself kind of like George Jefferson. And I always got a kick out of Richie. And Richie was short, like a lot of Sicilians, little tiny motherfuckers. I mean, they look like they're way far away. They're not. They're just short. They're right there. And they're not like midgets or dwarves. They're proportion. They're just little people. Richie was tough as nails, had been a Golden Gloves boxer, very successful in business, had businesses all over the East Coast, had moved himself down here to Florida like a lot of those Northeastern guys do, get sick of snow and bad weather. And he just had this air about him. He was the boss. Richie was the boss wherever he went. If he's standing in line at 7-Eleven, he's the boss of the line. If he's at Walmart, he's the boss of Walmart. If that motherfucker's at a restaurant with his old lady, he's the boss of the restaurant. And it's not like that he pushes on himself. It's just some guys have this vibe to them that other motherfuckers will naturally look at. When shit's going down, they'll look to the certain leaders. Guys know, they'll do it naturally, and they'll be like, well, what do you think? That motherfucker thinks you're the leader. If he's asking you what you think in that kind of scenario, it's because he don't know. And you look like you might be a little more alpha than him. You look like you might have something going on. There's a certain calmness, stoicism with confidence. But full-on attitude where you don't have hang-ups about who you are. That's why I referenced George Jefferson, because he was just who he was, wore his whole life on his sleeve. You don't like him, he doesn't care. My buddy Richie Mott was the same way, and I like to be this way. I'm fairly confident with who I am. I try to be conscientious, but only to a point to where I can get along with people successfully. I'm not trying to humble myself so much to where I feel like I'm being fake. You know what I mean? Where you're holding yourself back, that's being fake. When you're holding yourself back is when you're being fake. That's being fake. Don't be fake. Don't dial it down for people. If you have people that tell you to dial it down, get rid of those motherfuckers. Fuck you. Don't ever tell me that shit. Don't invite me anywhere if you don't want me to be completely out there in who I am. And if you don't have people around you that respect that version of you, where you're just the unabashed version of yourself, where you're just letting it fly, if some people around you aren't really, they try to bring you down. I don't know if you've been around people like that. I have, where they haven't really respected me. That's what it is. They don't respect you. When a man doesn't respect you, he's not going to allow you to be a king, to be tough, to be confident. And then there's a few different reasons why someone might feel that way, but it's a respect issue. And the whole time you're being yourself, they're just looking at you just like, this motherfucker's full of shit. He's not as cool as he thinks he is. He's not as strong as he thinks he is. He's not as rich. They're bringing you down at every little notch to their little level. Get rid of people like that. Get rid of the people that won't let you be yourself like that, in your George Jefferson mode. I wish I knew how to do photo editing, video editing, because I'd put in a clip of George Jefferson doing his walk. I don't walk like that, but that's attitude. That's a motherfucker that just doesn't give a shit. Get out of my way, motherfucker. Self-image is important. How we project ourselves to the world, to society, to people, is how they receive us. People don't know you. Successful salesmen know this, and successful con artists know this. I've met con artists, some people that are real slick, dangerous motherfuckers who've had several different identities and different personalities, and they can use that shit to manipulate anybody. You just want to be able to be yourself, be confident in yourself, because who we project to the world is who we are. And if you're projecting your anxieties, your weaknesses, your fears, then people see you as a weak nobody. You may be invisible to people. You may wonder why no one takes you seriously. You may feel like a pretty strong, tough, smart, capable, productive person, and people treat you like a joke, like you're a kid. It may not be anything other than simply how your self-image. You may not truly see yourself as a CEO. George Jefferson was the boss. He was the boss of his business. He was an employee at a factory. That's not how they wrote the script or the plot line in that story. He was the boss. Now, not everybody is self-employed, but you're the boss of your household. That's luckily we still live in a patriarchy. You're the boss of your household. You're the king of your castle. You can still get that kingly respect, but you have to have the air of a king. Don't be a fraud on the throne. Some little boy sitting in his daddy's seat at the office. You got to play your part. Just let it go. Let yourself go. Get rid of that fucking fear that people might not like you. Because some people aren't. I got a lot of motherfuckers who don't like me, and I don't care. You know, because you stay righteous. You work on your virtue. You stay grounded. You stay daily disciplined, mind, body, and soul every single day, and this is where you get the confidence to be who you want to be. And you decide who you are. And you project that shit out to everybody you meet. Every single motherfucker. I hope somebody's understanding what I'm talking about. We're just talking about self-image. Thanks for watching.